What's up, friends? Welcome into Rock Chalk Sports here on ESPN Kansas City and KansasNation.com with Elijah Schmidt and Tyler Brewer behind the cameras today. Alongside Dan Courtwright, I am Sean Kellerman. Thanks for joining us for another edition covering all things KU here at Kansas Nation. Got KU soccer tonight, the opening match for Nate Lee and his crew, fresh off a Sweet 16 run. It was so much fun last fall following these girls, and they're returning a lot of talent. We're going to get into that here in the opening segment. Preview KU against Utah State in the season opener. That is tonight, 7 o'clock at Rock Chalk Park. We're also going to let you know some preseason accolades for the KU soccer team, who is projected to be a top 15 team again. So incredible job that Nate Lee has done. So talking KU soccer. Next segment, though, we're talking KU football, as we're going to hear from incoming transfer Dylan Edwards. That's right. He comes over from K-State, and the tailback spoke to members of the media a little bit earlier today. Our own Tyler Brewer was over there at the football building as we had a meeting in Overland Park at the Sports Radio 810 WHB office. So Tyler was able to get some video feeds from Dylan Edwards, as well as breakouts from kicker and the punter, Martin Connington and Matthew Gill. Get to know those names. Those are your key specialists for Kansas football heading into this season, and we'll hear from those two guys. Also going to hear from a couple of KU coaches, wide receivers coach Terrence Samuel, as well as Taiwo Onatolu, the special teams coach for Kansas. We'll have those on tomorrow's show, but all sorts of content as KU football fall camp rolls on. Going to bring on the California Kid. Yeah. After we hear from the specialists and Dylan Edwards, Henry Greenstein, KUSports.com, LJWorld.com will be here in studio. Henry is just a jack of all trades. He knows everything about the Olympic sports for Kansas, in addition to football, men's basketball coverage. So check him out on KUSports.com. One of our favorite segments, Dan, the KU Mailbag segments. A lot of familiar names of people chiming in. I'm glad that Aaron is back in the mix, as he took a little 8-month hiatus or so from sending us any questions. What's that about, Aaron Mayer?
Shout out to AA, or what is it? Air for Ron.
Air for Ron.
Is his Twitter name. Yeah, he hasn't sent him any, but he was here actually for KU Trivia.
He did promise that he would send some, so I'm glad
I cornered him. I said, send me mailbag questions. So he said, okay. He's actually sent a really good one, and he also sent like options too. It's about scheduling a college football game, not just Kansas, but if you could schedule any college football game across the nation, what would it be? So there's a lot of good, I guess, agenda pushing things that you could certainly do, I would say, according to that. You could also do some KU stuff as well, just maybe another softie just to get Kansas to automatic 3 wins or whatever. Sure. That would be okay with me.
Short Island, maybe.
Yeah, Short Island. Good.
You like that?
Yeah. Because Long Island.
No, see, you just ruined the joke because you vocalized.
No, I get it. No, that's good. You should write that down.
It was really funny. And
that's really good.
That's on you.
That's so good. KU Najee also sending in some heaters as well. So yeah, we got a lot of good stuff. Colin also asks, you're going to have some time to think about this. He says, who are the top 100 teams in college football this year?
Top 100 teams. Does he want them in order?
I think he wants them in order.
Why don't we do 125?
That's okay with 130. Me. What about 138?
That's too many. 137.
I think 138 is too many? Yeah. All right, let's go to our top 137.
Yeah, great question. And then 138, I think we all know who that would be.
Yeah.
We're going to go back to KU soccer after that, as we're going to hear from 3 expected stars for KU soccer this upcoming season. Caroline Castans, who got some preseason recognition we'll tell you about here in the open. Sophie Dawe, KU star goalkeeper, and Jillian Gregorski as well. And then we're going to close out by looking at Arizona State football. We're going to give a record prediction for ASU. We did Utah yesterday. Why we chose Utah to start with, I have no idea. But we're going with ASU, and we're going to let you know how we think they will do. Now, you had Kansas going to Salt Lake and beating Utah, if I'm not mistaken. So will they do the same when they head to Wembley Stadium? And will the Jayhawks, when we're done with this record forecast segment here in a couple weeks, end up with a perfect 12-0 record? Shout out to Miles Schneier and his team over at Crown Automotive, our founding partners here at Kansas Nation. They did so much helping us get on our feet here, and we're so happy with where we're at right now. Couldn't do it without Crown. They are the spot to go if you are looking for a new vehicle. They've got a great selection of new and used vehicles, great Toyota options. They've got Corollas, Camrys, Tundra, RAV4, Tacoma, whatever you'd like.
Yeah, the VW electric buses. I actually was driving behind one on my way back from KC today, and I had a little Crown Automotive license plate thing. So yeah, you could tell that they got that from there. It was a really cool one. It was like lemon lime greenish kind of color. So yeah, be sure to check them out. Very friendly sales staff over there. We actually got a chance to catch up with Miles Schneider over this past weekend at a wedding. And, great guy. Obviously, there's a reason he was the 2025 Lawrence Citizen of the Year. He's not going to give you the runaround, not going to give you all that rigmarole that a lot of used car dealers give you. Crown Automotive is going to treat you fairly and get you in the car that fits your lifestyle.
South Iowa here in Lawrence, or crownautomotive.com. KU soccer, like I said, so excited to watch these gals this season. Number 15 in the country, of course, in the preseason poll, and they officially open tonight. If you can't get out to Rock Chalk Park, 7 p.m. on ESPN+, you can check it out. Just his third year, Nate Lee, as head soccer coach, and it's just so exciting. It's finally back. Dan, this is the day we've been waiting for, right? I mean, I know it's not the football opener, but fall sports is officially back today as KU hosts Utah State. Last year, KU soccer finished with a record of 16-6-3. They advanced to the third round of the NCAA tournament for just the third time in program history. They ended the year number 10 in RPI, number 13 in the final U.S. soccer coaches poll. The Jayhawks last year set single-season records in goals with 51, also set single-season records, corner kicks, and points. The 16 wins were the fourth most in school history. Picked tied for third in the 2026 Big 12 preseason poll that the head coaches voted on. Utah State, for what it's worth, KU's opponent tonight, solid program, 10-6-7. 5-2-3 in the Mountain West, and they were an NCAA tournament team. They fell in penalty kicks to BYU in the first round. So it's not exactly a gimme tonight for KU soccer. Excited the season's back here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a ton of fun. Obviously, like you said, it's back, and it's headlined by a number of different KU ladies that we saw last year, right? Jillian, Gregorski, Sophie, Dawe is going to be back, and most importantly, Caroline Castans. And I have something about Caroline Castans. She was actually named to the 2026 Women's Herman Trophy watch list, according to the United Soccer Coaches. It's presented annually by the Missouri Athletic Club, which is interesting because it's a national trophy, but it's the nation's highest individual honor, recognizing the National Player of the Year as determined by the voting of Division I head coaches who are members of the United Soccer Coaches. Castans, if you remember from last year, I mean, she was just incredible. She broke the school record for most assists in a season with 15 and also had a career high with 19 points. So she was involved in 34 points on the season, and if you know soccer, that's a lot of points. She had her hand on virtually everything, I guess foot on virtually everything. Nice. Thank you. Appreciate that. Also finished the year. Thank you. Finished the year tied for third in the country and led the Big 12 in assists. She received multiple awards throughout the year, garnering United Soccer Coaches All-American fourth team honors, also named Big 12 Co-Scholar Athlete of the Year, and she earned a spot on the All-Big 12 first team. So looking to improve upon that illustrious record and career that she had from last year, and obviously well-deserved being on this Women's Herman Trophy watch list.
Yeah, Caroline Castans we're going to hear from later in the show, and of course we'll also hear from Jillian Gregorski and Sophie Dawe, who's had an unbelievable career here at KU. But first, let's go to Allen Fieldhouse, where head soccer coach Nate Lee, again entering his third year, very successful first 2 years here at Kansas, spoke to the media earlier this week.
That was high. It was high. But it was down the middle.
Would you have swung at it?
Probably me. Probably. Can't lay off the high heat. You know.
All right, guys. Questions for Coach.
Yeah, Nate, just how does it feel being 2 days away from the first match and with an exhibition under your belt?
It's surreal. In the calendar here of what people are doing in their lives, most people are still square in summer, right? Maybe winding down, but they're still in summer mode. And even if we look at athletics, football just started. We're just kind of that test case in ahead of schedule. And so I saw Fitz at the pool yesterday, right? And he's like, hey, you guys are starting training soon? And I'm like, dude, we got a game in 3 days, one that counts. And so it got here fast. Everyone in the community is still rounding out their summer, and we're getting ready to kick it off. I feel like that's a privilege, being the one to kick off the season for KU athletics. It's a responsibility, but yeah, very, very excited for this to get started.
And then just to get into the realm of the somewhat more specific, I know when we had talked before, there was some uncertainty with the health of the center backs. How's everyone doing in that realm, and do you feel like you have kind of a handle on where that position is at right now?
The situation is still pretty fluid. We are hoping to get closer to full strength sooner than later things are largely trending in the right direction. I think I've said this, we have 5 players not participating on a daily basis, and 4 of them are center backs, so that's not completely ideal, but I think some are coming back, and the young players have been thrown squarely in the fire. So we played 4 players at center back on Saturday, and all 4, that was their first match ever with KU. 3 freshmen and a transfer. It's great, invaluable experience for those players. It's also a little bit nerve-wracking as a coach. You guys have been around me long enough to know that that's a position you want to feel solidified, that I think experience matters. That's one thing that we thought was going to be a strength, is the returning experience at that position. But you roll with the punches, and very proud of the players out there and their ability to take information, play brave. And I thought Saturday was not the easiest test in the world, right? We played a very good team with a attacking mentality, intricate sort of system, and I think overall we did pretty well.
When you have new players up front, whether it's transfers or freshmen, and you play the style that you like to play, how do you go about kind of getting them to buy into that, or getting them to understand what you want to do and how aggressive you want to be up front like that?
We try in the front end to explain the non-negotiables, explain the job description, but then really jump into the why. If we're going to ask them to make these movements and to expend all that energy, 1, why it'll work if they do that, but then 2, how it contributes to the team's success, and 3, how it can actually pay off for them individually, and that now we can get the ball in advanced areas and we can spend a lot of our time attacking. It's nice to have returning experience, and let's just say like a player like Lexi, she went from 2 goals in 2023 to 10 and 11 or 9 and 11 or whatever it was. That there is a payoff for those players, and we've talked a little bit about like our identity, our strengths, our superpowers. Like that should be one of our differentiators, is the amount of pressure we're able to apply, the consistency of it throughout the game, and the fact that we have depth this year up front should also kind of add to that strength. And we just try to do our best job of explaining why, and then to create that habit, I sometimes have to just sort of be the bad guy. I have to nag them perhaps to like, this is the standard, this is how it's supposed to be done. If it's not, let's figure out a way to get there as fast as possible. And thankfully, like this group was saying, the mindset coming in of the players, they seem to embrace it. And you can either start with a little bit of level of distrust or start with a level of trust, and I think we've started on the right end of that equation.
Yeah, just to follow up on that, I was just asking Caroline and Jill, does it help those players when you have experience, like people in the midfield behind them that kind of understand already, like, and hey, we'll have your back, we're going to be there with you. Like, does that help make it a little bit more of an easier explanation of how you're trying to do it? I think so, because if the forwards do the job correctly, there's a lot of experience behind them, and usually the end product's going to also work out, right? So they can do their jobs correctly, and someone else we can have a breakdown otherwise, and then that's not going to help the buy-in. If they do their job correctly and the next layers are doing their jobs correctly, and we all of a sudden have the ball, it's going to help with that. And our returning experience through those next layers, those players look like they know what they're doing, right? And that gives a level of confidence to the people in front of them. And hey, let's not forget, Jocelyn, Joe, Faith, like those are returning players from last year up front, so they could set the example. Sid and Nora were here in the spring, and so it's not all new players up there as well. Like we have people who know what they're doing up there too.
Jill talked about the jump forward position, she said. Is that unique to her or something you like to use? She called it jump forward.
Say one more.
Jump forward?
Jump forward.
Maybe she was using it as a verb where she.
What was the question that she answered? It was
that very thing. It was just the support behind what's up in front of her.
Okay. Yeah.
And she said sometimes I'll kind of be the jump forward, or maybe she said jump forward.
Yeah, maybe she's Jill has improved. So Jill plays the attacking center mid, and a lot of what we do, encourages the other team to kind of play their central player, their holding center mid. And so it's Jill's job, let's say, to like make that pass not work out. And that was an adjustment for Gill. And Jill's been on the receiving end of a lot of coaching in that way. And now, like, her level of assuredness in what she's supposed to do, and then her ability to execute is very empowering for the whole team and the coaching staff. Gill looks like she knows what she's supposed to do a lot out there right now. And so I think, that is that next layer outside the forwards. And sometimes this is maybe how she was responding it. If we're a little bit out of structure, a layer below can still solve it by kind of helping someone else. Yeah. And then we have a lot of specificity in what that looks like and where you can't get beat. And she gets it. And, the more that other people can see her do it and be successful, the more that they'll kind of have the confidence to take that risk. Because we encourage risk, honestly, in the press. It just has to have some intention behind it.
So is it the specificity that you talked about? Is it a green light thing with her? She sees it, she goes, she does it, or does she still have
Yeah, so we try to explain like when you would do it and why you would do it,
Okay.
and then perhaps when you wouldn't. And
Sure.
her compass is pretty dialed in, right? She understands the broader framework, and so do Caroline, so do Soph, so do Livy. Like the places where we have experience, they probably understand the system well enough and have been through the trial and error enough to know that like when it's time to go and when it's not. And here's the thing: is like when Gill goes, that layer behind has to go. Whether Jill's right or wrong, they kind of have to go to protect her. And we're further along in sort of that set of concepts than we have been in the past.
Cool.
By a lot actually.
Cool.
Yeah.
And with Carol, so much attention preseason last year, rightly so, and then she backed it up and then some. What's the next step? What's that look like for her? What's another step where she can even improve upon what we already know is her greatness?
Yeah, Caroline's just, gosh, it's nice to have a player like her back there. We're in that phase where there's so much new and it's 1,000,000 miles per hour, and the game has slowed down for her, right? So Caroline rarely looks rushed. Part of that is that's just probably how she is as a player naturally. Part of it is her quality. Part of it is her experience. She puts the opponent in a tough situation because if they give her the ball with time and space, her delivery is pretty much unmatched. If they decide to try to eliminate her as part of our attack, then they're opening up another space that like is not particularly fun to defend against us. And so she is so much a part of the equation of how we put pressure on the opponent. As it relates to like how she can take that next step, I think defensively, continuing to 1v1 win as many of those matchups as possible. I know she's tried to become a better 1v1 player in attack. We're working on her on different variety of service. So she has certain service that she's like incredible. There are others that I think she can come up with a few more assists if she adds that to her bag. She scored a couple goals last year, and she always seems to score really important ones. But she'll have some opportunities to maybe score a few more, and even in training you can see her get a little bit like goal hungry in the right way. The best thing I can say about Caroline is there's probably not a ton more ceiling wise, but that doesn't stop her from trying to continue to expand her game.
The players earlier talked about expectations. What's your view on that, based off of maybe what you expected when you first got here and what you've already accomplished, and now there may be a little bit more people paying attention to what's going on here? How do you kind of manage that, or what's your view on that this season?
It's easier and more fun year one with no expectations. It's my personality. I love coaching a team that's an underdog. If anyone gives us bulletin board material, we're going to use it. This year it's a little bit tougher. We appreciate some of the respect that we've been given. I think it's earned. I think part of trying to shift into this next phase of our program is not being afraid of saying we're a pretty good team. Like holding our shoulders high and back and going on the field expecting to win, but also understanding what it's going to take to get there. It's a different set of responsibilities. One of the things we try to impart on the players that are new to our program is like, hey, a lot of work went into this, to get to this point. let's not forget what allowed us to be here in the first place. But yeah, I remember walking into this first one before year one, and I'm like, hey, I have no idea if this is realistic at all, but like we're going to try to make the NCAA tournament. And that could be like such a pipe dream, but like this is the way we're approaching it. Whereas now, anything less would be a disappointment. And you know, we talked to our team about, like you guys have heard me talk about the RPI, and if as we relate to Wednesday, every, you know, a lot of sports that they'll understandably be like, yeah, like non-conference is used to prepare for conference. And I'm like, well, in our sport, yes and no, but as it relates to making the NCAA tournament, every single game counts exactly the same, right? And came here wanting to eventually, sooner than later, run a program that has that type of responsibility and that type of pressure, and you know, like it's here, and we still think we have a lot of room to grow and some levels to try to hit, but yeah, we'll see if we can find that same consistency that we've been trying to put together.
You've had Sophie in net for almost literally the entire time you've been here. How helpful is that consistency, and how have you seen her grow recently?
It's great, yeah. I mean, we've been, you know, Soph and Caroline and Joss, I think, are the three players that have been here from second one, from spring one. You know, all three really important players to this team on and off the field. You know, if you work your way back forward, you know, forward are the people who have to change games with special moments. I think moving from back forward, it's like you change seasons and games and outlooks by consistency, right? And dependability and communication and all the non-glamorous stuff, right, that doesn't get the headlines. It's been fun watching Soph grow. You know, if you see her sitting here behind a microphone, like, she's a great steward of the program, and I think she is, you know, super comfortable in her own skin compared to when we first got here. You know, like, she has a real presence. I think the sky is the limit for her as a keeper. I think she's as driven, selfless, brave, talented as any goalkeeper I've been around. I think she has high expectations for herself, and so my hope for her this year is that she can play freer, right? She can let her experience and talent take over, not overthink everything out there, because I think when she gets in trouble is only when she's just she's putting pressure on herself, you know, to help this team as much as possible. But her daily actions take care of that, and if she could play loose and free, she's going to be fantastic. And we feel, to answer your original question, I feel very fortunate that we have her as part of this program.
Anything else for Coach? Thanks, Coach.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
That's KU head soccer coach Nate Lee. Of course, tonight it's the season opener for KU soccer. They take on Utah State at Rock Chalk Park, 7 p.m. If you can't get out to Rock Chalk Park, which hopefully you can, tune in on ESPN+. Shout out to my guy Josh Klingler, who's going to be on play-by-play for KU soccer. After this, we're going back to the KU football building. We're going to hear from running back Dylan Edwards and KU's kicker Martin Connington and punter Matthew Gill. That's next. ESPN Kansas City, kansasnation.com. Locally owned for over 40 years, Gary Jocelyn and the entire Jocelyn family proud to have earned the respect of 3 generations of customers at Jocelyn's Jewelry. They are the jewelry store you will want to go to because they are honest and they treat you fairly. You wouldn't believe how many customers come in and say they were quoted $400 to fix a ring, and it's under $200 at Jocelyn's to fix the same ring. If you need a chain, a ring, other items fixed, they can help you out. 95th and Antioch, right in front of the big grocery store. You can't miss them. Jocelyn's Jewelry, partners of us here at Kansas Nation. You will recommend them to your friends and family. All right, KU football chatter as fall camp rolls on. We're going to right away go back to the KU football building and hear from the guy that a lot of people want to hear from, Dylan Edwards, KU's presumptive starting running back this upcoming season, transferred over from K-State. Here's Dylan earlier today.
Wallace says that when you're on the field and then another running back's on the field, it creates a lot of confusion. Talk about what you bring to that.
Yeah, I try to keep, in this offense, try to keep defenses thinking. As many things as Coach K and Coach Wallace throw at me, I'm going to try to, engage that and be a sponge and, try to show it on the field.
Has Coach K talked to you about lining up different ways, doing different things, or how has that kind of come to fruition for you?
Yeah, it's been different. Coach gives us quizzes at night, and we all reference that. And so in the morning it comes, and we're real fresh on it. So I'm just coming and trying to be a sponge, like I said, and know every play before I go out there. It'll make me play faster.
Does he talk to you about specifically using you in different ways, or like one-on-one, like, hey, I want to do this with you, or I have this idea, or things like that?
Yeah, always. Coach always just puts me, like, makes me think, even on the field and on the in the film room. So just having that is going to have keys to my bag for sure.
Coach Wallace brought him up. I don't know how old you would have been, but I'll ask you, do you remember Puka here?
Yeah, Puka Williams.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
He said that's sort of your game as far as someone he's coached.
Yeah,
what do you remember about him, and did you try to run like that? I don't know how old you would have been. It's been a long time.
Yeah, my dad used to have me watch people when I was little, so yeah, I know who Puka was.
He was one? You watched him?
Yeah, he was one.
Did you ever get up here and watch him play?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
But I watched film of him.
Right,
Yeah.
you did.
Yes,
You
sir.
remember it.
Yes, sir.
Very cool.
Hey, Dylan, what's it been like in the return game working with punts and kicks?
It's been cool. I like the guys that I'm, back there with, and we all just been having fun and working on our technique and catching the ball.
That's been a part of your game for a while. What do you like about returning? Like, what do you enjoy about that?
I mean, it's 11 on 11. It's football, so I mean, anything that's football related, I'm a like.
Coach Wallace said he likes the depth in the room. What's the relationship like between you and the rest of the guys, and just the whole camaraderie that's there?
Yeah, we're all friends, and we all build off of each other, give each other like pointers and stuff like that. And everybody's cool in the room, and we just can't wait to have a good year for real.
Jason talked a lot about it in the spring, the urgency that he has being last year. You have it, and that bonded you guys pretty quickly.
Saying, yeah, he cool.
Yeah,
What
Wallace said, he sees you guys bring that urgency to the field, holding each other accountable, getting after each other. Was that natural to do that, or did you guys have to kind of feel that out?
Yeah, I feel like building a relationship outside of the field, like in the meeting rooms, and like understanding each other, how we think, it's easier to go out there and be like, hey, you got this on this play, or hey, line up here, or oh, you got to get out more, Stuff like that is definitely why, people in the room it's just a great room.
He's pretty fiery, Jason.
He got some energy.
Yeah, it seems like that urgency is easy to see with him. Is it burning as bright with you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just go out there and play my game. He gonna play his. I feel like we got two different attitudes, and it brings the room and it makes it better. So that's what I like about it.
Do people bring up the Kansas State game to you a lot, or are you really not really
I'm just thinking about week 1 right now. Really just going through camp, just trying to live in the present, just try to make plays on the field.
Does it feel weird to be sitting here at this stage in your career, not at Kansas, but just, you're old now, right? Sorry to tell you, but you're old now. And it is kind of your last go-around, just like Justin was talking about. I mean, does that feel weird that you're at this point?
I think if I have fun with it, I won't think about it like that. So I'll just go out there and have fun.
Yeah.
Coach Lee mentioned you as someone that's really progressed physically since you got to campus. Just personally, how has that experience been of putting on more weight and developing physically?
Yeah, I'd say me opening up more to everybody, talking more and being around the guys. I'm more of like a reserve guy, kind of feel everybody out first before I, start talking and being who I like, my bubbly self how I am. So just going out here and being more of a talkative guy is going to help me.
Are there any teammates that you feel like you've connected with and maybe helped bring that side out quicker?
The running back room. I mean, there's some great guys in that room, and we all feed up each other, like I said. And, it's a great room.
What's it like having Dupree back on the field?
Dupree, he cool. He more quiet too, but he's been on the field and gone, and you can see like he's making Austin better, and they're both making each other better. So that's nice.
Where have the coaches really challenged you to improve over the course of camp?
Really, just knowing the plays, like it pops in my head like it's nothing. Whether I'm at a position where it's different, just knowing everything and going out there and playing free. Spring, we got to learn like a lot of plays and get to it, but it's different from fall camp because you got longer days and longer practices, so it's been good to learn everything.
Wallace said he's pushing you guys. He said one thing that he's trying to find is what you guys can't do, because it's been a lot of fun seeing what you can do. How much fun is it to have that guy pushing you like that? And do you have any idea what is out there that you guys can't do that you're
Coach
trying
Wallace
to find?
is a good coach. He's a former quarterback, so I'll be asking him questions like, hey, what defenses are we in right now, and what does it mean when this guy shifts in motion? So he gives me those answers right off the bat, and he's a great coach and a great human, for real, great father, for real.
He says he's leaning on you. You feel that?
Yeah,
all you guys pushing.
Yeah, I mean, he
no
pushes
pity.
us. Yeah, he don't give us no pity at all. He pushes everybody, so he's a great coach, for real. Cool. Yes, sir.
That's KU running back Dylan Edwards a little bit earlier today at the football building. Really excited to see not only what he can do in between the tackles, not only on the outside, but in the pass game as well.
That's such an original idea.
I know. How about that?
It's amazing.
You think Kotelnicki's thought of that?
If he hasn't, he better.
Well, he probably watches.
Well, he's an avid listener of the show.
So probably
write this down.
That's a new idea. No, Edwards, he's going to be a fun player for KU to have. But got 2 more quick videos to show you really quick. The KU specialist. Let's hear from KU kicker Martin Connington a little bit earlier today.
In York, which I don't exactly know on the map. I think it's in Essex somewhere in there, but.
Yeah. So what do you think about getting a kick at Wembley?
I think it was a lifelong dream. I grew up a soccer fan, so I can't even talk about my emotions on how excited I am to get over there.
Who's your soccer team?
It's Arsenal. Grew up makes it easy. Unfortunately, sounds like a bandwagon, but no. When I was younger, my soccer team wore the Arsenal jerseys, so it made it super easy. Just yes. And my dad hates Manchester, some of the teams in there. So.
I love it. That's good.
So kicking from the Big Ten, now you're in the Big 12. Has it been a pretty easy transition to Kansas?
Yeah, it's a very different transition. I think you just have to get used to different environments, which obviously we get cold games here and there, and I got to kind of experience some very, very frigid games. But now here it can be windier, it swirls. It's a whole new environment, but I don't think it was much of a change because the process is still the same. But yeah.
In terms of like your range, like how do you think you've extended that? You mentioned feeling stronger, so how do you feel like that's extended since you got here?
Yeah, I think my range hasn't increased substantially. I just think I can kind of kick into a wind in an easier fashion. I don't have to feel as if I need to force it. But it's stayed fairly the same. I think I have a little more in my leg. I've had to start lowering the ball a little bit, make that an emphasis in my game because obviously, as I keep emphasizing, it's windy. So keeping it lower, keeping it high enough to not get blocked, but low enough that it doesn't get hit by the wind.
What's your range that you're kind of confident from?
I'd say I feel confident 55 yards and in. I think you give me a little breeze behind my back, I can extend that a little bit, but yeah, I feel pretty confident right there.
Before you came to Kansas, did you have an expectation of the wind like you talked about? Like, were you aware of it, I guess? Or
I
adjustment period,
I wasn't aware of how aggressive stuff. I knew the thunderstorms and some of the storms here are pretty aggressive, but until I got here and all of a sudden I hear a tornado siren, I'm like, oh, a little scary. But yeah, you get these pretty vicious storms that come through, and I knew it was there, but until I saw it, I had no idea.
That's a new KU kicker. Michigan State transfer Martin Connington comes over to kick on the call.
Somebody has some British roots as well, and he's going to be playing across the pond.
Oh, my God.
Great Britain.
That is crazy. Wow. KU has another Australian punter, Matthew Gill. Let's hear from him a little bit earlier today.
First fall camp. Oh, it's awesome. I mean, I think we've got a great room with the specs. A lot of experience, especially. I think Reno's been incredible. Obviously, he's got, 4 years under his belt. Hollis has been there for 3. And also just experience from Martin. Nice going through it for the first time with Shipley as well. He's been great.
What's it been like for you adjusting to the college American game?
Oh, honestly, it's been difficult at times, but it's been so much fun. I think the coaches have been great with helping, especially Duino and Miller. They've been incredible for me. I think working through the scheme and just adapting where it needs to be, I think it's been incredible. Been really good to me, making it easy.
Any obstacles for you or anything you've run into and you've needed the help of a coach or needed like advice from Reno before? Anything like that pop up, snags this fall?
Nothing specific. I think just with the specificity of being a specialist, time's going to come up where we've got to adjust something or other. But I think we're able to identify those problems. I wouldn't call them problems, but able to identify them early, switch what needs to be switched, and do really well. I think, especially, we had a speaker yesterday, Alan Stein Jr. come in, and he talked a lot about doing the basics and don't get sick of them and do them really well. And I think that kind of sums up what we do, sort of every training, indie periods, just really perfecting the small things.
And when you talk to Reno, what's some of the knowledge or wisdom he's imparted on you? Because he's a pretty unique person.
Oh, he's great, isn't he? He's got a lot of stories, which is, I think, the best part of it. And he's able to give advice in such a way that it's inspiring in a way. He can look at every situation, and he's been there before. He's snapped at a national championship. He's played on the highest level, and so I feel like the way he explains problems is he really breaks them down really well.
That's KU punter Matthew Gill. We're going to have more coverage. Coach O is going to speak. Well, he already did speak, if we're being completely honest. He's going to speak. We're going to hear from him a little bit later in the week. We're also going to hear from Terrence Samuel, KU's wide receivers coach. And the next couple days, we're also going to be over there at the Anderson Family Football Complex getting more video. You're about to say something intelligent.
No, I was just going to say, do you smell that? It smells like salt water and
oh yes,
seaweed.
No, but I can hear the waves.
You can hear the ocean waves.
I can hear the waves
at the front door.
Crashing at
Kansas
916
Studio.
Massachusetts Street here in what we thought was landlocked Lawrence, Kansas. How about that?
That's right.
Henry Greenstein, KUSports.com and the Lawrence Journal-World, straight from California to right here in front of your computer screen, in front of your TVs. Do people watch us on computers or just?
I bet they watch us on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Live on Facebook, live on YouTube. Probably phones. Anyway,
sure there is.
Greenie's coming up next here on ESPN Kansas City and KansasNation.com. Sean Kellerman, Dan Courtwright back with you. Rock Chalk Sports rolls on ESPN Kansas City and KansasNation.com with Jayhawk checking from Central Bank. Jayhawk fans can carry their pride wherever they go with the official Jayhawk debit card. Central Bank is proud to support the traditions and communities that bring people together. As the proud community banking partner of the University of Kansas, Central Bank is committed to serving Jayhawk fans with banking options designed for real life, on campus, at work, and everywhere in between. You can learn more about Jayhawk checking and the exclusive debit card at jayhawkchecking.com. jayhawkchecking.com. Central Bank, the proud community banking partner of the University of Kansas, member FDIC. Henry Greenstein, KUSports.com and the Lawrence Journal-World. Thanks for coming in studio. We love having you in every Wednesday, and we have survived the offseason. We got through the basketball tournament. We had many cup checks over the summer as well.
Cup checks.
And now it is game day. KU soccer against Utah State tonight. I want to ask you about Nate Lee and his third year at the helm. But we just heard last segment from a couple KU specialists as well as running back Dylan Edwards. And let's call a spade a spade. Edwards is a big story. He comes over from K-State. We love – you asked Dan and me. We love the depth in every single room of this Kansas roster. But
we're the deepest we've ever been. Everyone's the fastest they've ever been.
It's crazy. But
Everyone's
Edwards –
ready to win championships.
Edwards is great. He is really fast. He is really kind of that joystick-type player. What did you think of talking with him a little bit earlier today and your thoughts on his upcoming season?
Yeah, he's going to be under so much scrutiny this year, right? I mean, not only in terms of being from Derby, but in terms of having transferred from K-State. Someone asked him today if people ask him a lot about the K-State game. Can you guess what he said?
We're focused on week one.
Exactly.
Yep. Classic.
Yep. Classic football player answer. We may hear that a few more times between now and October 17th. No, I'm really excited to see what he can do. I honestly think that KU has not had a player with his level of speed and elusiveness in Leipold's entire tenure. And he'll also provide it, as we heard about today, because it was also the specialist today, in the return game. You got to find a balance because you don't want to use too many of your starters too often on those units. But on the other hand, as Taiwo Onatowu said, you want to have your best players out there. So I expect he'll probably, if you have to ask me right now, I'd probably say he'll be the kick returner and Tate Nagy will stay as the punt returner. But we'll see. He's got experience doing both. But yeah, I think to me, in a lot of ways, is an ideal kind of situation for him. He doesn't have to be the bell cow. He'll probably get the chance to catch the ball a lot in space. I think I'm the first person to say that they want to use him in the receiving.
Use him in the receiving?
The receiving?
The receiving?
What? I know. It's a little
as a running back?
It's a little unconventional to
No
consider
way.
just because of
a running back?
Running back?
Catching balls?
I know. Pretty good
That is
stuff, right?
That's why we have you on.
So
I'm trying to even imagine what that would look like, and I'm drawing a blank. That's crazy.
I know you might need to have someone mock it up for you, like an artist's rendering. I think having Yasin Willis to be the workhorse is a pretty ideal situation. It will keep him fresh. and allow them to deploy him only when they really need him. So I'm excited about what the season ahead holds for Edwards. Just got to stay healthy, and I think a lot of success is in his future.
Maybe this is a silly question. Maybe it's a dumb question. Dan played football in college. I didn't. But is this a situation where Coach O, he's trying to have the best special teams unit in the country, but like you said, there's a balance. It's probably a situation where he's fighting to have Edwards out there for every kick return, punt return, and Coach Leipold, other people are saying, hey, we ain't going to do that. I mean, you were able to use Emmanuel Henderson last year a certain amount, and he had some big breakaway plays. So I'm sure it's a situation where, the special teams coach is trying to get the best guys out there. And realistically, to your point, and this is true in the NFL, all levels of football, you're not going to have a lot of starters out there.
Yeah, but I think Dawe can point to Emmanuel and say, well, this is why we do it, because he was super effective as a kick returner. But also, as Onatoa put it today, perhaps exaggerating a little bit, he was involved in literally every tackle on punt coverage, which I don't think is actually true, but he was very useful as a gunner. So there's merit to that for sure. But yeah, I mean, that's why you have other guys like Cam Pickett or Keaton Kubeka who have experience returning kicks, who you can also have as alternative options if you want to.
Yeah. Henry Greenstein, KSports.com, and the Lawrence Journal World. And I mean, to your point, obviously, yeah, Dylan Edwards would be an excellent piece in the return game. We've seen it, at his time at K-State, at his time at Colorado, right? But he also has some other interesting factors, and I want you to touch on this a little bit just because we've heard his name thrown around a little bit. Corbin Glasgow is an interesting piece in there as well, I guess. Maybe a guy that we could see a little bit of in case Dylan Edwards is getting, a lot of reps, then they can throw him in, and then Tate Nagy as well. Two questions, I guess. Where do you see Corbin Glasgow stepping into that kind of role? And then do you see Tate Nagy, stepping up more so in the offensive game as opposed to in the run game?
Yes and yes. Well, first of all, today, talking to Dawe, we talked pretty extensively in that press conference about how the new rules without red shirts mean you can pencil in, you can Sharpie in a freshman on your special teams for the whole season.
Right.
You don't have to just limit it to 4 games plus a bowl game. And so he was asked to mention some of the freshmen who he thinks could play themselves into roles there. And he mentioned Trey Brown, Drayden Punt, Corey Amakri, and then he added Glasgow. So I think Glasgow is one of the fastest guys on the team, probably has a future ahead of him as a gunner, even before he gets really involved in KU's offense, probably a couple years down the line. But yeah, it would be a waste not to have him involved in coverage in some form. I probably don't expect him to be a returner this year, but I definitely think he'll find a way to get some snaps here and there. And I mean, just think about what that can do for players' development. They don't have to sit on the sidelines 2/3 of the season.
Right.
They can get, even talking to Malachi Curvey the other day, he basically played 12 snaps on special teams. He said it helped him get a sense of the speed of the game. Can do the same thing for any freshman, and they'll be getting potentially 3 times as many opportunities. Now, there are some quirks with travel rosters where obviously not everyone who contributes in a home game can go to a road game, and Lance Leipold said the other day that he hopes they'll expand the travel rosters further. But guys like Brown and, Punt's interesting to me because that's not really the first name you expect to hear about. He's like a 6'7", 235 defensive end, but apparently he got some sort of scout team award last week. So anyway, just some names to keep in mind. Who knows? Maybe one of them will make a big play on special teams this year.
Well, you mentioned Malachi Curvey, so I want to ask you about the linebackers because we spoke to them recently too, and that's one, we joke, but we do feel better about the depth of the linebacker room because, you lost John Kamara, which was a bummer because I think his future is really bright. You lost Bengali Kamara. KU last year was so heavily reliant on Bengali and on Trey Lathan. Now it seems like there's better internal competition. I mean, and maybe Curvey is the perfect example of that because he walked in the other day and we were interviewing him. I'm like, oh my God, who's that? He's a big dude and, has a year in the program. He's a guy who could potentially be impactful. But, Bam Crouch, Quincy Davis, those guys alongside Lathan, hopefully it's a situation where Kansas doesn't have to turn to Ezra Vidral, no disrespect, no walk-on, as Lance Leipold said, if there's, any issues with injury and perhaps more fresh bodies there.
Yeah, I looked it up recently. I think Curvey's dad was a big-time D-tackle at Iowa State. And when you hear that, it makes a lot more sense as to why he's a redshirt freshman and 6'4", 245 linebacker. But no, I think he can find his way into some snaps, kind of like probably even a bigger role than Logan Brantley had last year. When you consider he's probably the third option at weak side linebacker, I think Crevet can be a real part of the rotation. But yeah, I like how the linebacker group is shaking out. At this point, I'm expecting that Trey Lathan and Bam Crouch will be the day one starters. I think Quincy Davis, they've spoken extremely highly of him, but I think they envision of him being the first guy off the bench at either spot. They said he's been training primarily behind Trey as a Mike linebacker, but said they'll maybe get into more cross-training at the will spot. That's kind of what led me to believe, okay, he's probably not going to be the day one weak side linebacker starter. Instead, you go to a guy in Bam Crouch who started all of 2024 at Boston College, was a captain in 2025, just got hurt and couldn't play much of the year. So it's a lot of experience. And, you talk about communication. When you got a guy who's about to be a team captain and a guy who was one last year, that'll be pretty good in terms of getting everyone on the same page. So I like that. I like Davis. I want to see what exactly they do with Jabril Al-Amin. I'm not 100%. Not that I'm not sold on it, but they want to use him sometimes as a will, sometimes as a hawk, but we don't even know if the hawk is going to be a real thing this year, like how often they'll actually send out three linebackers, because they didn't do it much last year. And we haven't had the chance to talk to Al-Amin yet either. So that'll be interesting probably at media day when we get the chance to do that. But he'll figure in. Crevet will figure in. I think that's about it in terms of contributors for this year. Obviously, they could have had one more in Landon Watson. I don't know that Jaron Willis is really in the picture right now, just from what we've heard. But certainly, that's a much better picture than this time last year.
Yeah, for sure. I wanted to kind of get like a nuts and bolts answer from you here. I guess put your shoes in DK McDonald's and look at the depth.
Wait, are you
of...
going to put your...
What did I say?
You're going to put his shoes in DK McDonald's shoes?
You're going to put your shoes off
in DK McDonald's shoes.
Make yourself really small and then get into the shoe.
Yeah. Are DK McDonald's shoes off?
DK McDonald's shoes are off.
Until Henry removes Henry's shoes.
They're hypothetical shoes anyway. I want you to look at when you look at the depth of the defensive line and the linebacker group as a whole, because we feel like the linebacker group has a ton of depth and a ton of guys who can make an impact right away. With the defensive line, you have some really nice players on the outside, some really nice players on the inside, especially the ones that you got out of the transfer portal. Obviously, you don't have Trayvon McAlpine this year, but you do have Kevin Otis and Biggie Smalls and those kinds of guys. I guess, do you look at this and kind of change things up a little bit? Because we know DK likes to change up the defense quite a bit. And like you said, there is the hawk position, if you will. But, like, if you're running this defense, do you go, like, 3-4 maybe sometimes? Do you go 3-3 with an extra safety in the backfield? I guess what style of defense do you think would fit the personnel that they have?
Well...
Because Kansas does like a lot of different things.
Yes, as we learned very quickly at the start of last year. You may disagree with this. My initial thought when McAlpine was ruled out for the season is, well, now they can't do odd fronts as much because they don't have their nose.
Right.
On the other hand, you can probably have Smalls do that. He's 350 pounds.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing that they brought him in with the idea he would do some of that. And, you don't necessarily have to send out 3 defensive tackles and 2 defensive ends, kind of like what they did last year. You could do the kind of 3-man front where you got Leroy Harris, Eamon Smalls, and then maybe Blake Harold lined up. Like there's a lot of different permutations, which I think is by design. I think this year they, obviously not as much because they don't have McAlpine anymore, but they, or at least for this coming year, they recruited personnel with the idea that they would be doing a multiple front sort of situation, which I'm not necessarily sure they did quite as much in the lead up to DK's first season. Frankly, because they were returning the entire defensive tackle group, except for like Gage Keys.
Yeah.
So I think the acquisitions of players like Smalls and Jabril Conde, who's kind of a tweener a little bit. He's a little bit of a Blake Harold type in terms of his body. I think those acquisitions were made in the mind of, okay, these guys can line up at different positions along the defensive line. They don't just have to be pigeonholed into one gap.
So, but you don't agree with me that, or I guess not agree.
I don't agree with you that a 3-4 is the best fit.
Well, sure, I like a 3-4 defense. That's just me. But at the same time, like, do you think that there's so much talent in the linebacker room that it's going to be hard to keep all those guys off the field?
Oh, for sure. And I think they will rotate more at linebacker than they have, and less on the defensive line than they have, especially because they're not super deep at defensive end either. Like I like the top line, but it's not a thing where you have 3 guys who can play at each position like in 2024. I think you're going to want to have Leroy Harris, Alex Bray, David Santiago, and Dak Brinkley out there. But beyond that, like maybe Garrett Martin gets 10 snaps a game towards the second half of the season. Other than that, I don't think it's going to be a thing where you've got 3 different groups you're trying to cycle in there. Whereas at linebacker, I don't think it's unreasonable at all to think one drive you have Trey in there with Bam Crouch, and then you want to spell him, so you send out Quincy and Jabril Amin, or Quincy and Malachi Curvey.
Yeah. Well, let's hope for more takeaways and more 3-and-outs for the KU defense, because that was the other problem. I mean, you don't have to rotate as much if you're not out there as many plays. And Kansas, the last couple seasons, has been out there
that
a
Missouri
lot of
game,
plays. Oh, my God.
85
And unfortunately, that was a trend that kind of stayed with, the opposition having so many offensive plays. So, yeah, we'll see. But good points there regarding KU football. A lot more to get to regarding KU football in the coming weeks as fall camp continues. But let's talk KU soccer. Tonight, number 15 KU soccer, Henry, hosting Utah State. They went out to Logan last year, so the return trip here for KU. And, they lose a lot of talent from last year, of course, most notably Lexi Watts, who can still come back, by the way. Caroline Castans.
The clock is ticking.
Jillian Gregorski. What do we got? It's about 5 o'clock, so 2 hours or so. Caroline Castans, Jillian Gregorski, and Sophie Dawe spoke to the media earlier this week. Sophie Dawe has been fantastic. She's a senior goalkeeper. But kind of your thoughts, Nate Lee's third year as coach here at KU.
Yeah, doesn't she still have another year now,
too? You're right. Yeah.
I think one of hers was a red shirt, so she would be a red shirt junior if we were using the old system. KU's kind of in a point where they've transitioned some of their rosters partially over to the new scheme. So, like, Kristen Klein's listed as a senior now. She's actually red-shirted, but it doesn't matter anymore. Anyway,
what was
she's
the word
a senior, and she'll just be a senior again.
Henry came up with a new word for a 5th year.
Oh, thanks for saying this on live radio. So now I have to. I was talking to Jack Ritter, and I was like, they need to have like a whimsical name for a 5th-year player, like freshman or sophomore. I was like, it could just be like a Snurblin or something.
Snurblin, that was what it was.
And everyone looked at me like I was crazy.
I like it.
Everyone looked at me like I was crazy. I was like, and it doesn't have to be that specifically, but just like freshman and
Something
sophomore
like
things.
No.
You're not going to hear in any other context.
It has to be that specifically
Snurblin.
now is a snurblin.
Snurblin.
That's what a 5th year is now, a snurblin. Spread the word, everybody.
Yes, and that's SNERBLIN.
SNERBLIN.
Just as
Write
I've
that
declared right now. As for the KU soccer team, those were the captains for this year. Jillian Gregorski, Caroline Castans, and Sophie Dawe. They'll all be incredibly valuable. I mean, as Nate Lee basically said the other day, Caroline Castans, in terms of her ability to serve the ball into the box, there's really no one else who can do it like her, and that's why she has 15 assists last season. But I think KU really thinks that they can be dangerous on both wings this year. I'm repeating stuff I said last week, but essentially with Livy Moore having, last year, late in the season, they were like, all right, we're changing Livy Moore's position. She's now going to be a right wing back. And that helped them a lot in the late stages of the year. Well, this whole offseason, she trained as a right wing back. So they are more confident they can be dangerous up that side too. I think that'll be really important. I think Jill Gregorski's development will be really important. And all of that is because of the continued uncertainty at forward.
Yeah.
And we talked about this. I think they've got 6 or 7 players who could figure in there. Like I said, I continue to think the most likely choice is probably to start tonight, or at least play the most, would be Jordan Rowan, a sophomore who saw some time last year and looked good. I think she had 4 goals. And Jocelyn Harima, who's kind of a long-time program fixture, who's had a steadily increasing role. But there's so many. I mean, they got Nora from Butler. She was the Big East Freshman of the Year the last year Nate was in the Big East. But she wasn't as productive the last 2 years. So can they unlock something like what she did at Butler her first time? They got Sydney Fink from Kentucky. They got Hannah Palmer from K-State, who I think could be a big factor, but came in late. She was a spring addition. They got Faith Johnston, who we saw do a lot. She's a great striker, a force on net. And then they got 2 freshmen, and Jordan Huggins and Gabby Thompson, whose names we'll probably be hearing sooner rather than later. So that's one area of interest. And then the other one, and by the way, Utah State will test them. Like, Utah State plays what's called a mid-block, and they really frustrated KU last year, and that ended up being a 0-0 draw. I talked to Nate about it a couple weeks ago. He was like, that's as chanceless as we've been in a game. So 0-0 draw in Logan last year. Obviously, like altitude and stuff, but we'll see how it goes. And the issue that's become salient to me in the last few days is at center back. I talked about Olivia Page transferring to Florida State, but from everything that I've gathered, like Emily Tobin and Jordan Felstad have not been healthy. Apparently, in the exhibition last weekend, they played 4 center backs, 3 freshmen, and an incoming transfer.
Right.
It was for all of them. It was their first game at KU, and so we may see all or a lot of those players tonight. And Utah State doesn't have a lot of its attackers back from last year. They did get a good midfielder in Mia Lopez, who was at BYU and posed some problems to KU last year, but not trivial to defend against those players, and so the freshmen will be thrown into the fire early, it sounds like.
Yeah. Well, and there's 2 freshmen who scored, I guess. I don't know if they want the official score being put out there, but Kansas scored 2 goals and they held Iowa to none as the time expired.
Yes.
Technically. With Olivia Joyce and Olivia Kaiser also scoring too. So, I mean, those are 2 names that could be, hopefully,
both in the midfield, though. So less playing time available.
Fair.
Than at striker.
That makes sense. Hey, some big news. Marion Washington getting into the Naismith Hall of Fame as a member of that 1996 Olympic team. Big-time accomplishment for her. Talk about how cool this is, because Marion Washington, I feel like, probably doesn't get enough recognition, maybe in the national light. I mean, she gets recognition here at Kansas, but in terms of what she was able to do along her illustrious tenure here at Kansas and with this Olympic team, I mean, a really cool accomplishment for Coach Marion Washington.
Yeah, I'm glad she's getting honored somehow. They should have just inducted her as a person.
Yeah,
I mean, she's been like a semi-finalist or whatever in years past. It's crazy to me it hasn't worked out for her with how influential she was. Not just in terms of what she did at KU, but also in her Olympic efforts. She competed in multiple sports and stuff. To me, it's a no-brainer that she should be in the Naismith Hall of Fame as an individual, but they found a way to get her in somehow. And so she will be a Hall of Famer. And I think that's really cool for her. I enjoyed reading her story as retold in her book a few years back. You guys interviewed her, right?
We did.
When she was doing that circuit.
Very nice. She was awesome.
Really, really nice, and was generous with her time during that period. I know she's so well respected by everyone at KU currently. She has a good relationship with Brandon, a good relationship with Travis Goff. And like I said, I wish they would just induct her as herself. But that being said, obviously a venerable team, and the fact that she was an assistant coach on it is yet another credit to her resume as well.
Yeah, and she was inducted to the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame back in 2004. But yeah, it seems like it definitely was past time for Marion Washington. Sticking on women's sports, I want to ask you about KU volleyball. Like KU soccer, picked preseason 3rd. They are also number 15 in the country. Very interesting kind of alignment there with Coach Lee and Coach Ulmer. But some individuals, you got the Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
Are we going with
that?
Reese's Fast Break.
The Reese's Fast Break. I like that.
I actually like that. You texted, or was it you or
one
of you guys?
The law firm of Messer and Patak. They got they got recognized.
Reese's variants are there? There's a few other things they do, right? No. I mean like the different candy.
Reese's
things.
Outrageous.
Oh, yeah.
Outrageous is a good one.
They have the Reese's Pieces.
Yeah, but
Reese's,
I feel like that's already been used, because isn't that what Angel Reese's fans call themselves?
What about the
Reese's
cereal?
Reese's Puffs.
Reese's Puffs. Well, that doesn't really make sense.
That's a good one. No.
Okay, well,
anyway,
I like Reese's Fast Break is good, and plus that's like my favorite candy bar.
Well, the reason why,
dude, I love Reese's Fast Break.
Since we're going to talk about it, the reason why I propose that is because they're trying to play at a fast pace this year.
There it is.
Yes,
it's good.
That was shrewd of you. It took you a little bit of time in our text chain, and then you said, "Nope, that's the one." Reese's Fast Break.
I mean, they could just be the peanut butter cups.
Yeah. Well, either way, we should ask them. We should get them in the Kansas Nation studio. Anyway,
peanut butter cup.
They got honored preseason, as did Taylor Stanley. Not a shock there, Taylor Stanley. But yeah, I mean, a lot of talent. It's going to be a young team. But to your point, they should be able to play a little bit faster. We know how good Jovana Zelenovic was. She moves on. Selena Laban also no longer with the program, but maybe a little bit more athleticism, a little bit more quick twitch for this KU volleyball roster.
Yeah, Matt Ulmer said something I thought was kind of interesting. Was that yesterday? I can't even remember.
2 days ago, yep.
2 days ago.
You were close.
He said something kind of interesting where he was like, this is kind of a compliment to himself too, but he was like, that was probably not the greatest roster that's ever made a Sweet 16. And like, yeah. Like it was a patchwork of former Ray Bichard players who hadn't really played international players who arrived and then left immediately, and then like a couple of key transfers. So the fact that they banded together and that he led them there further than they had been in previous years was really quite an accomplishment. But kind of as I said on this show recently, this team is going to be more like what Ulmer wants Kansas volleyball to look like. And when you think about the fact that last year they had one player who could touch 10-3, all 6 of their freshmen can touch 10-3, that's a testament to it. So besides the fact they're going to play quickly, which to me, and Olivia Hasbrook, they have the libero to do that, and Reese Messer, they have the setter to do that. She's immensely talented, by the way, Reese Messer. I'll be excited to see her this year. But besides the fact they have the players to do that, they can also get up pretty high on the pins. And as Ulmer pointed out, like that's both good in terms of your offense has that, but also your offense gets to practice against that and practice, because for when you go up against teams that have big blocks, like the Nebraskas of the world, or Pitt, they play really early on, has one of the best players in the country. That's a season opener, right?
Yeah,
Olivia
I think so.
Babcock on that team. Anyway, they get a chance of what other top teams look like, a chance to experience that within their own gym because of the high quality of athleticism they've brought in. The only thing is, like, how quickly do all these players adapt to being college volleyball players? Taylor Stanley, I think, is cut out for it, but she's not the only one who has to contribute. You think on the right side about Tessa Dodd, or, you know, on the numerous pins they'll have on the left side, like Avery Polton, for example. And then in the middle, you know, you got Reese Patak and Aisha Iono, who we heard from the other day, but if they have to get into their depth at all, it's going to be freshmen. So a lot of questions, but you have to think that this team, whether they are like as good as they are last year, they will be fun to watch for sure with how fast they're going to play and how high they can get up. It'll be a brand of volleyball that is maybe new for KU volleyball fans, I think.
Yeah. Pitt is the official opener. They do play Creighton in exhibition on the 22nd.
Katie Dalton revenge game.
The Katie Dalton revenge game and the alumni scrimmage on the 15th. Don't forget that.
And apparently Anise Havili is going to play for the alumni, even though she's
awesome.
a coach.
That'll be cool.
Is Tori Miller going to play also? Tori Miller Holios.
Tori Miller, I don't know. You know, they now only have her listed as Tori Holios on the directory.
Okay. Shout out.
Question for you, because I know Ulmer was asked about this. Sydney Bryant. I mean,
by
just,
me,
by
because
you.
I was very curious.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what's your confidence
plan with
level?
that, right?
What's the plan? What's your confidence level that this whole thing is going to work out? I mean, I've personally seen it at like the lower level with like Emporia State. But when you get
personally, yes.
Yeah, but when you get to, you know, Division I athletics and, you know, massive schedule changes and also longer travel, well, I mean, how do you think that this is all going to work out?
Okay,
essentially, with Sydney Bryant?
I'll start by
the way, she's playing volleyball and basketball.
Yes,
For
I'll
anybody who
start
doesn't know.
by saying it in a very charitable fashion. Okay, this is something she's extremely passionate about. In interviews, she has described it as a non-negotiable, something she sought out and explicitly wanted to do. Both Ulmer and Schneider corresponded with her extensively about this possibility and with each other in the lead up to probably even her visit, let alone a commitment coming in the picture. Schneider has done it before during his time at Emporia State. Stingers, we were in sync on that one. And so there's a lot of reason to believe they have a framework in place, and Ulmer said it's all about the communication, a framework in place that will allow us to succeed. However, she's going to miss she's going to miss a whole month of games at minimum. She's missing off-season training sessions that took place over the summer. And she is probably, I don't know for sure, but probably higher regarded as a basketball player than as a volleyball player, and plays a position that is a greater need for the basketball team than the one she plays for the volleyball team. So it's a little unfortunate that's exactly how it's going to work out, especially when you consider that KU women's basketball does not have other true centers, in my opinion, on the roster. Can they play with Julia Davis and Reagan Williams for the months of November and December? Absolutely. I think that'll be great. They just not like a power post rim protector kind of person. And, you know, Sydney can step out too. Like, she's not strictly limited to doing that. But to me, I see Reagan Williams and Brooklyn Wren as players who should be playing as stretch forwards.
Yeah.
And in their optimal positional fit. On the volleyball end of things, like, it'll be useful to have another middle. I said that there were young players behind Patak and Iono, but They also have Jaylee Rutledge. Like, they don't 100% need her to quite the same extent. So all that is to say, like, first of all, incredibly impressive. She can play both these sports at a power conference level. I just don't know if we'll see if it produces the optimal outcome for both teams, because it's going to be really challenging.
Yeah, it would be fair to say that there is a very small number of these cases that has worked out well across college athletics.
Jaden Nickens.
But, that's not to say that Sydney Bryant can't come in and deliver. And, again, the crossover, that's a thing, too. It's not like football and baseball, so we'll have to track that. But good for you asking Coach Ulmer that question. And we'll see how it goes. It'll be fun. But excited to have a talented player like Sydney Bryant on campus. Henry, we kept you for a while today. Thanks so much. KUSports.com, LJWorld.com. You guys, I'm sure, are pumping up your coverage here as fall sports is upon us.
Yeah, we certainly are. Everything you could hope for. We'll have a reporter out there tonight, the soccer opener. We got plenty of fall camp stuff on a day-by-day basis, probably like 2 articles a day for football. So 2-a-days. So
nice.
Yeah, this is Henry's 2-a-days.
Keep your eye on KU Sports, and thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Henry Greenstein, love having him every Wednesday here on Rock Chalk Sports. After this, our KU Mailbag segment brought to us by you, the fans. ESPN Kansas City, KansasNation.com. Welcome back. Sean Kellerman, Dan Courtwright with you. You know the feeling. The Fieldhouse gets loud, the chant starts low, and the Jayhawks bring the energy. That is Lawrence. Ameritrust Credit Union thinks your money deserves that same feeling. A team in your corner that's pulling for you, win or lose, season after season. Financial well-being isn't just something they offer, it's why they exist. First car, first home, first business, whatever's next in your money story, they are right around the corner at 6th and Wakarusa here in Lawrence. Real people making real decisions locally. Ameritrust Credit Union, the official financial well-being partner of Kansas Athletics. Stop by the branch or visit ameritrust.org, federally insured by the NCUA. I was changing my daughter's diaper this morning, and
where's this going? What?
She's at the age now where, like, when they're
Which daughter? You have 2 daughters.
Ava's 3.5. She's no longer in diapers. She's been out for 2 years.
I don't know
now.
anything about I don't know when they don't wear diapers anymore.
I feel like around, as we say to everybody, Ava's very advanced for her age. I feel like once they turn 2, they're done diapering. Like 2 is the year that you're usually like potty training and all that.
Sure.
Anyway, so she is. The fact that she got that figured out quickly was awesome.
Good for her.
But Claire is 8 months, and it's funny because you change babies' diapers, and you probably don't think, oh yeah, change a baby's diaper.
Yeah.
When they're little babies, they just lay there and kind of look up. When they're like 5, 6, 7 months old, all of a sudden they are like rolling on their side and grabbing stuff. And I'm like, oh, my God, I need you to sit still so I can change your diaper.
Yeah.
This morning, she grabbed another thing that you're going to love when you become a dad is a snot sucker. And all the dads out there know exactly what I'm talking about.
Is
you
it like
literally
like
put
a turkey baster type of thing?
I
think I've
I mean
them.
similar, but it's a skinny tube.
Sure.
And then on one side is the part that you put your mouth on. And then there's a stopper in there.
Your mouth.
And you have to get the snot out of their nose. So,
interesting.
Yeah, so you literally suck the snot. And all the snot goes in this tube, and there's stoppers. So I know I couldn't do it for the first 2 months that we were doing with Ava. But anyway, bottom line is I wasn't doing that with Claire this morning, but she was grabbing it because she's wiggling around and all that.
Naturally.
And it has that little stopper, and I took the stopper out. Because, it's little, it could get stuck in her throat, like whatever. I was like, this is a safe thing. This is what she wants to play with right now, because kids play with whatever. It's this tube, and it's got a blue thing on the end that is stuck on there, so nothing's going to fall apart. So get the diaper change, go downstairs, put her in her little activity center, which is things she kind of bounces in, and there's toys, whatever.
Sure.
I go to brush my teeth, and I come back, and that little pink thing that isn't the stopper, but it's the thing that the grown-up puts their mouth on.
Yeah.
I couldn't find it. So I started freaking out. I started breaking out, sweating. And we had that meeting this morning in Kansas City. So I'm looking at the clock, and I had Ava this morning too because she's not yet at preschool. And I'm like, oh my God. So I call Caitlin. I call the pediatrician.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, I can't find it anywhere. I picked Claire up. I'm literally
tossing the room.
Yeah, making sure that this isn't in her throat. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't find it anywhere. I very clearly would see on the ground if something was there, and I'm like, this pink thing is not there, and I'm like, why did I get this? So I'm freaking out. 15 minutes. A nurse calls me back. I didn't see the call back, but Claire's acting normal throughout the whole thing.
Sure.
She's acting normal. She just was mad when I was
She's
like
what's
checking
this
her
guy
throat.
doing?
Yeah, pretty much. She's probably entertaining for her, but I'm like, oh my God. I'm picking her up. I'm putting her down. And then I finally calmed down because she had been acting normal for like 25 minutes. And I was like, okay, Sean, you wouldn't have given her this. Like, I'm a pretty safe, like, don't go on roller coasters type guy. I'm like, you wouldn't have given this to her if you didn't take the little pieces out. Because I remember taking the blue thing out, but I didn't remember taking the pink thing out.
Sure.
But then as I calmed myself down, I was like, I wouldn't have given it to her. I wouldn't have if it was even a little bit dangerous. But, that didn't change the fact that I couldn't find it. But then I went back upstairs to where I initially changed her diaper, and I lifted the diaper-changing little mattress thing, and there it was underneath. But I was like, oh, my God. So I was just absolutely freaking out. Somehow got to the meeting on time. I don't know why I told that story. I think because we were talking about diapers, weirdly enough, in the break. But, yeah, I was freaking out. Like, so I took Claire to her daycare because she's at daycare now, and Ava's in this weird week where she doesn't have school yet. But our daycare provider was like, I can see you're sweating. I'm like, I know, I haven't recovered quite yet. But anyway, that was a day in the life of a dad there this morning. It was something, man. If you're ever wondering what's Sean doing right now, it's probably something like that.
Yeah, probably
when I'm at home,
tearing apart his child's bedroom, looking for
all we're good.
Sucker.
All we're good. It's just a little dad scare right there. Anyway, KU Mailbag segment. The dads, the non-dads, the dog dads, everybody out there. Thanks for sending in your questions. Hunter has a good one off the jump.
Yeah, Hunter asks. This is a non-sports one. He says, would you attempt a birdie?
That's a golf reference.
That's a golf reference. For every hole on a regular 18-hole golf course for $50 million, and if you fail, you go to jail for 10 years. No. I would not do it. Well, that's like.
So I don't get it. Would you attempt to birdie?
Yeah, like if
every
somebody comes up to you and says, "Hey, could you I'm giving you this option for $50 million for you to go out and golf 18 holes. If you birdie every single one, I'll give you $50 million. If you lose, if you don't birdie every single one, you get 10 years in jail." Like, there's no chance.
I wouldn't even birdie one.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
but. I think a better question is maybe like.
I think if you get one birdie.
I think sure.
Somebody like me.
What about like if you get a year? I think that might be a better, like if you get an entire calendar year starting, what is today? August 12th.
And you have nothing else to do, no responsibilities.
Yeah. Until August 12th of 2027. You get a full year to prepare. Do you think you could birdie every single hole on a golf course? Go 18 under. For $50 million, would you even try? Would you even start?
I have a realistic adjustment to this.
Okay.
What if it's a shamble?
Ooh. And you're with who?
You play the drive.
Yeah.
4-man shamble. I'm not going to go so far as to say a scramble.
Four-man shamble.
But a 4-man shamble, you're only playing the drive.
Sure.
So
drive is the part of your game that. See, I'm the opposite. No. I'm good at driving. I'm terrible at like 100 in.
I know, but I think if you have 4 people, you're guaranteed to have a good drive.
Sure.
Then I think there's a world where you could granted, there's a lot of questions in terms of course difficulty and all that.
Sure.
But yeah, I think that would make it a little bit more interesting. By the way, I've played golf with Hunter before. He and I, a 2-man game over your bachelor party.
Yeah.
Had an awesome time.
That's good.
That was great.
Nice fella.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you guys golf well?
We did, man. And it was the type of golf that I liked because, we weren't rushed or anything. We both played pretty well. And I think we both finished off our scramble with a birdie 2 or 3 times. Dang. So it was like with good putts. So it was fun.
Fair enough. I'm just going to go ahead and say no.
No.
I'm not going to.
No, I would need some sort of adjustment to that.
Yeah, I would too. Aaron says, Air 4 Ron, if you could schedule one college football game for this upcoming season, what would your matchup be? He actually sent me some ideas.
Like for the Birds or for any team?
For any team at all. He sent me some ideas. He said, these are the ideas that he had on his drive to work today. Make Notre Dame play a ranked away game.
They would never.
But you get to decide.
Yeah, I know.
That's what I'm saying. Send Ohio State and Georgia to Ireland week 0 so one of them gets cursed. I like that idea. And then force a blue blood to play an away game at a G5, like Alabama playing at North Dakota State. I kind of like that. That's fun.
That would be fun.
So here is he also had some honorable mentions, and I think I might pick this one. Texas versus Texas Tech would be a fun game.
It would be. But I don't want to be
Nebraska
put in a position,
OU.
I don't want to be put in a position where I have to cheer for Texas Tech.
I don't think I would cheer for anybody. I think it should be good football.
It would be football. I think I would do an old Big 8 matchup probably.
Sure. Like Oklahoma State, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I think here's what I would do. I would do OU in Texas, but I would make them put a Big 12 Monster logo on their jerseys.
The old Monster logos.
He also said, I mean, there is the fact that like you could give KU like Delaware and just automatically give them like another win, essentially.
Yeah. What are some other like blue blood, like awkward? You know, like Lane Kiffin's obviously going to face Ole Miss.
Yeah, that'll be fun. USC Oklahoma, the Lincoln Riley game, that'd be kind of fun. Pitt, West Virginia, always a blast. I mean, the backyard. What is that? The backyard brawl or whatever.
Yeah,
that's fun. They're bringing back USC and Notre Dame, which is fun.
How about Michigan Notre Dame? That'd be fun.
Michigan Notre Dame would be fun. Too much navy and gold though.
Give me Michigan against Kansas because I've got buddies who are Michigan fans, and that'd be fun. That'd be fun to see, man. What's our all-time record against Michigan?
I don't even want to know.
I mean, have they faced them in my lifetime?
Probably not.
KU against Michigan. Michigan leads the all-time series 3-0.
Okay.
1893, 1894, 1979. 22-0.
Sure.
22-0 again. Whoa. And in 93 and 94, 1893, 1894. Both of those games were in Kansas City, and then in Ann Arbor, 28-7.
It's not bad.
That'd be fun, man. I would want probably, yes, you have your Delawares of the world, but I would want KU to face like a Michigan or a Notre Dame.
How about like Michigan, Georgia?
How about KU?
Okay.
Let's get KU involved.
I mean, I like KU. I like KU Mizzou every year, even though you don't like that. I mean, you said classic Big 8. That's classic Big 8. KU Mizzou every year. I think you make it mandatory, like Iowa State and Iowa. What, you don't like that?
I would like for KU to go up against one of those big boys.
What about KU?
That's my final answer.
What about KU Nebraska? That would be
that'd be
a fun game.
That'd be fun.
That'd be so much fun. I don't know. There's a lot of options. Get some big boys in there. I don't know.
Good question.
Make Michigan go back to Appalachian State again.
Right.
That'd be fun, right? KU Najee, he wants to know, will Dennis Parker Jr. average more or less than 9.7 points per game, 3.1 total rebounds per game, 1.7 assists, and 1.5 steals?
You know I love these, KU Najee.
He said, which national championship winning Jayhawk put up those numbers for Bill Self during the 2010-2011 season?
You know I love this. This is my thing. I went 2 for 2 last week with some unbelievable polls, if I'm not mistaken.
You did. 2010-2011, but also won a national championship. I mean, that kind of narrows it down a lot.
Yeah, so national championship winning Jayhawk. Well, the starting 5 left after we won the title. So, but this is 2010.
10 and 11.
Yeah,
it would have been Sharon and Tyrell Reed.
It would have been Tyrell Reed.
You think it's Tyrell?
Is that right? Because, well, Sharon wasn't on that team, so it had to be. Hang on. No. You're not going to get me, KU Najee. Okay.
So it had been a freshman on that team.
Yes. And the prize freshmen on that team were Tyrell Reed and Cole Aldrich. Travis Relaford was not on that team.
3.1 total rebounds.
It had to be Brady Morningstar. Brady Morningstar
wasn't on that team.
He wasn't on 07-08?
He wasn't on that 07-08 team. He came in that next year with the Morris twins, I believe. Right? Yeah.
I'm going with Morningstar.
Okay. Brady Morningstar was wait a minute. It was not Brady Morningstar. You shouldn't have overthought it. It was Tyrell Reed.
I overthought it. What a mistake.
It was Tyrell Reed.
1.5 steals is good. Shout out to Tyrell Reed, man.
3.1 rebounds, 9.7 points per game, 1.7 assists per game. His question is, does Dennis Parker Jr. get over that? All of those.
Well, it depends if Melvin Council and Trey White are coming back. We haven't talked about that a lot.
We'll talk about that.
There's scuttlebutt.
Let's talk about that tomorrow. That feels like a classic Friday open. We'll kind of break that down and see what everyone else thinks. I think he goes under 9.7, under 3.1, under 1.7 assists. I think he is. I don't know. I think he goes under all of them, honestly, just because there's going to be so much rotation Or I guess let me take that back.
So
I don't think there's going to be that much rotation for him to get that amount of numbers. So he's not going to be a starter.
You've got, as of right now, if Stokes is your 3, Kenny, Blyden, Rosario are your other guards.
Yeah.
And then Parker. I do think that Stokes will play the 4 a decent amount.
Okay.
It's tough to say under for a dude who scored 53 points in a game last year. I mean, he scored 53.
That's true.
But I don't think he'll quite get the minutes. Now, if you were asking about Cole Rosario for those numbers, I think I'd go over on all of them.
Okay.
I think I'd go over on all of them, Cole Rosario. But it still would be a fair question.
Fair enough. You're going to go over on all of those for Dennis Parker Jr.?
No, I'm going over on all for Rosario.
For Rosario, but not Dennis Parker
not for
Jr.
Parker.
I got you. Also, KU Najee wants to know, will Taylon Kinney average more or less than 8.4 points per game, 2.5 total rebounds per game, 2 assists, and 0.6 steals per game? And which Bill Self guard put up those numbers his freshman year?
I'm going over on all of those for TK.
This is interesting.
Only questionable one for me would be the rebounds at 2.5. But I think he'll get there. 8.4 points, 2.5 rebounds, 2 assists, 0.6 steals. Who is the Bill Self guard that put up those numbers his freshman year?
It wasn't Sharon.
Are you sure?
I'm looking at it now.
So you're Googling this.
Yeah, I'm going to let you do
isn't
it.
That, God, what is that? What's that word? Cheating?
Cheating? No. All right. Let me look this up.
Bill Self guard that put up those numbers his freshman year.
Freshman year. It's not Dotson. Dotson was way over that, I think. Dotson was like a 13, wasn't he? Points per game his freshman year? 0.6 rebounds. Or no, 0.6 steals. So it wouldn't have been, because right away I went to Marcus Garrett. But 0.6 steals is probably low for him. I'm going to look this up.
Man, that's tough. That's 25 years to sift through. I think 8.4 points per game would be too much for Marcus Garrett for his freshman year. Devontae was the answer to the question last time. Do you hate the Devontae option here?
Devontae Graham?
Yeah. It would have been 14-15 season. So you're just looking it up, man. You can't help yourself.
I'm letting you do it. Who? What are we gonna do? Just say like maybe, and then like
I gotta
and then
get,
just
okay,
forget
fine.
about it?
I'll give. Okay, fine. I'm gonna guess Devontae right now.
It's not Devontae.
Okay.
5.7 points per game his freshman year.
Okay. How many rebounds, assists, and steals?
Total rebounds 1.5, assists 2.1, steals 0.9.
Okay, so I was close on some of those. Let's see. Freshman, what Bill Self guard his freshman year? Give me, man, how about Elijah Johnson?
Good guess.
I'm sifting through, man.
Elijah Johnson, KU stats, 2.4 points per game his freshman year.
Okay, how about?
Let me look up Brady Morningstar.
No, I don't think he scored that much.
No,
how about Russell Robinson?
Ooh, good poll.
Would have been.
Well, Russ Rob wouldn't have
Would have been.
Oh no, that's right. Yeah, he would have been
0405.
Yeah. For some reason, I thought Russ Robb was a.
But I don't think he played enough.
No, 3.5 points per game.
Yeah.
We're at a. You stumped us, K. Najee.
I'm gonna have to keep guessing though, right? I mean, that's what we do.
Yeah.
How about Mario Chalmers?
Mario Chalmers, Kansas stats.
I feel okay about that guess.
Mario Chalmers college stats. Freshman year, 11.5 points per game. Man, 2.7 steals. He led the Big 12 all 3 years he was here in steals.
If this is Alex Galindo or Omar Wilkes, I'm not going to be happy.
What about Frank?
I don't think Frank scored that much his freshman year. That was the team with Wiggins and Embiid.
5.5 points per game.
Man, he's stumping us. We're going to have to figure this out, though. We can't not figure this out.
K. Najee, I'm going to go ahead and concede.
Oh, my God. I can't do it.
You can't do it? All right, well, go back. Just take Kenny average more or less than all of those.
Yeah, I'm going over on all of them.
Over 8.4,
yeah.
Yes. 2.5 rebounds.
That was the only questionable one for me.
The rebounds? Yeah, that's fair. He's only 6'1", right?
Yeah, and we're gonna have a lot of guys
I don't see, and this, don't take this as like an insult, but I don't see him as a big glass crasher.
That's an insult. I take that as an insult.
Why? I just don't think he is. I think he's going to be putting up threes and then not crashing the glass very much. So I'm going to go under on the rebounds.
Bill's self-guard.
2 assists for sure. 0.6 steals over. Yeah, I think he goes over on 3 of them.
How about Wayne Selden?
Ooh.
I'm gonna be fixated on this, and we have other questions that are running low on time, but that's okay.
College stats.
Wayne Selden. I like that guess.
What was it? 8.4.
Yeah.
9.7 his freshman year. Man,
it wasn't Oubre because he went to the league after 1 year.
But Xavier Henry had over double digits, right?
And it wasn't. Yeah, Xavier had double digits.
Yeah. 13.4.
Okay. I got one. Christian Brown.
Ooh.
I don't know if he got up to 8.4 because that was the 2020 team.
True. It was 5.3. What about...
check out the most recent episode of Time Out with Tyshawn Taylor, by the way.
What Tyshawn?
Christian Brown. That's a good guess. Although he's...
Let me look this up.
I like it because he would have started as a point guard.
9.7, man.
Bill
2.2 total rebounds.
All right, I guess are we going to have to go back
conceding.
to it? I'm not conceding, but I'll go to the next question.
All right.
KU Najee, that's a good poll. Cody says, do you think 2-in-1 shampoo and body wash was specifically made for armpits?
I think it was, yes. That's a good question.
Interesting.
Because it shampoos your armpit hair. Do you use 2-in-1 shampoo and body wash?
I usually don't. I don't really get it.
Whenever I get 2-in-1 shampoo and body wash, usually it's 3-in-1 because usually it's shampoo, conditioner, and body wash.
Oh God, okay.
But whenever I do that, I don't use it for my hair. I just use it for my body. Like I like my hair too. Like I feel like that's just straight up body.
It's interesting because it had to be created for a.
What's the difference? Like, what's the difference between shampoo and body wash? It's just they're both soaps, right?
I don't know, but here.
Shampoo's more. Yeah, but you can moisturize your skin too. If shampoo is more moisturizing for your hair, why can't you just use that for your skin and moisturize your skin as well?
Fun fact of the day, though: if you ever need to shave and are out of shaving cream, conditioner is apparently the thing to use.
Okay. Fair enough.
Cody, always a hard hitter. Colin says, who are the top 100 teams in college football this year? We could also give the top 357.
Can I go through a list that I have?
Yeah, but you don't have to go in order. Just literally name them.
Oh, no order whatsoever?
No order.
All right. I'm going to go with San Jose State, Marshall, Ball State.
Old Dominion, Kansas.
Yeah. Let's see.
Florida State. That's good. We can
New
keep
Mexico
going.
State, Eastern Michigan. I think those are like 3 MAC teams already.
Kent State. We can just do the MAC.
You want to do the top 10? I'll do my top 10. At least
Greenstein.
what I have right
here. You can give your top 10.
Ohio State, Notre Dame, Oregon, Indiana, Georgia, Texas, OU, LSU. OU. What? I don't see OU winning. I think OU's a 6 or 7 win team. LSU, Texas A&M, Miami. Then it goes Southern Cal, Texas Tech, which is at 12, which is shocking. Michigan, Alabama, Auburn, Tennessee, BYU, Louisville, Washington, Iowa, South Carolina, Penn State, K-State at 23. No way. This is college football news. 2026 power rankings. Hate that. Mississippi, Utah, Florida, Arizona State, Minnesota, Clemson, Missouri, Illinois, SMU,
All right, we are
UCLA.
not going to.
Well, he
to
asked for all
name
100. What are you?
Henry says, "What business would you want to see on Mass Street?" Interesting, Mass Street. Yes, this is a recent article. I think Chad Lawhorn wrote an article.
Chad Lawhorn did write an article on
.com about some openings, and sometimes it's tough for businesses down here to stay afloat. What business would you like? You'd probably like hookah or something like that.
No, I wouldn't. Sure, it's a lot of. He does. He liked the hookah lounge when he was here. He's off to greener pastures though. Let me think. Because there's already a rally house, which is great. There's already a podcast / radio / private event space downtown Kansas Nation. Have you heard of it? Already a lot of food. I mean, there's like Molcajetes is a great Mexican spot. Jimmy John's is right next door.
You know what we need? We need like a not shady convenience store type.
I would love like
a drugstore.
That's actually a great idea. Or just like a gas station.
Yeah, like a drugstore that we could walk to.
Or
energy drinks, man.
What about a bodega? That's what they're called. Essentially, yeah, like a gas station that doesn't have gas pumps. A corner store, a bodega.
Drugstore,
like bodega, whatever. We need that because if let's just say, for example, like we're here and like we need an energy drink, we got to go all the way down to like 19th in Mass,
right?
At that gas station,
I think that's the pull.
I think somebody needs to put in a bodega somewhere where I can get like a one of those like rollers that you get at like Quick Trip,
roller grill
and
items.
then I can get a ice cold Coca-Cola Classic and
good
bag of gummy bears.
It is like even if we
drink.
want caffeine, I mean we can go obviously Jimmy John's, Chipotle, Pepper Jacks, whatever.
If you're not a coffee guy, we have the Roost right next door.
Right, that's true. But yeah, if we want like an energy drink, I don't know where we're going. But anyway, appreciate the questions. I'm going to still work on that KU Najee question. I mean, we're getting to the point where we were going to just guess every guard ever and maybe never get it. But anyway, appreciate the questions, as always, on our KU Mailbag segment. We're going back to Allen Fieldhouse after this. We're going to hear from a trio of KU soccer players tonight. KU against Utah State, 7 o'clock at Rock Chalk Park. ESPN Kansas City, kansasnation.com. Going to go back to Allen Fieldhouse and hear from 3 KU soccer players in advance of their game that's going to be kicking off here in just a little bit against Utah State. Caroline Castans, Sophie Dawe, and Jillian Gregorski earlier this week.
For anyone coming off the exhibition, what did you learn from that and kind of the first opportunity to get out there and play another team?
No, it was a fun game. I think we showed well. I mean, our 2 goals were scored by 2 freshmen, which is great for us. I think we were talking about like our depth of our team this year is very good, and I think that we just have a lot of new people that have come in and are proving themselves and are taking the chances that they get and making the most of them, and I'm just excited to see what we're going to do with this new team.
Yeah, going from playing 11s against yourself to playing an actual game, I feel like can be a transition for freshmen at least, and I think they did a really good job of like bringing energy and not backing down.
I think also the new players are kind of balancing the old players' strengths a lot, and we see like a lot of personality, but as well as like we can all be united and unified in like the same style of play, which is really cool.
Yeah, Jill, Nate's talked a bit about your growth as a leader and kind of growing into more of an upperclassman type player. What's gone into that for you this offseason?
I think like the confidence, but like the trust of like the returners. I think these girls have been a huge part of it. Just giving me kind of like the keys to the car and just believing in me and trying to push me to be my best. And I think that's what makes our team really good is like we all are like pushing each other because we know we're all capable of greatness.
I feel like it's the same question we asked last year, but what's next? What can you guys do? What are the expectations? I know that's kind of unfair, but it seems like you keep adding to what you guys are building and doing. And is there more? Whoever wants to take it.
Of course there is. No, I would say like we have gotten farther each year, like just say in the NCAA tournament. So I think it's just trying to reflect on what we did, but also not like be satisfied with that and always strive for more and know that we're a team now that is like we were ranked 15th, and then so I think that we're now a team that people are looking at, and like we kind of have a just like more motivation to keep striving to reach higher goals. And I just think that we're starting out already on such a good foot with like our culture of our team is like top tier. I think that the girls are integrating well, and so I'm just excited to go into this next season and just know what we can accomplish.
Yeah, I think we started out in a good spot already, buying into different concepts. We brought in some new girls, and I think they're really bought into the process and the program, so we're excited.
I also think like this coaching staff, like we came in and there are like goals and dreams were to make the NCAA tournament. I think our standard now is the tournament and winning first round, and I think that's really, really cool as year 3 comes along. Like they said, we're already like much better starting spot than we have been, and I think we're just gonna keep grinding and wanting more because like we're not a team that's satisfied at all.
Sure. What is it weird to watch this all kind of unfold? I mean, you had freshmen last year. You just mentioned 2 freshmen scored the other day, and then you had a group of freshmen that were huge to your success last year, and now they're sophomores, and someone like Kate is a junior, and you guys are all a year older. I mean, is it weird to watch that happening in real time? I mean, do you feel like you're all evolving and getting older? Do you still look at some of the younger ones as freshmen, or are they upperclassmen in their own way now?
I think it's really cool to see, like, you can just see the maturity and like confidence grow in them. I think you can look at everyone on this team and like there's a little bit more there, especially girls coming in that are a little bit newer, so it's really cool to see like that switch in their mindset of just confidence.
For Caroline and Jill, you guys have been around now, you kind of understand Coach Lee's attacking style. For new players, whether it's freshmen or transfers, what's kind of your role in getting them to understand like what he wants to do or how he wants to attack, basically?
Yeah, I would say just giving them the confidence and just the reassurance that they're here for a reason. And it is a little bit different style of play for a few girls that come in, but just honing down on like moving forward and putting 100% in every single rep, every single play that we do, and just knowing that if you have intention behind what you're going to do, like they'll live with that, and then we'll make the correction later. But just trying to instill confidence in them and trying to like shake the nerves out of them as much as we can.
I would also say like having them like trust us and trust that like if you go and like you give your full effort and full attention to detail, then like we're all behind you. Like we're gonna go with you. And even if you mess up an angle or even if it wasn't the best pass, like you have the whole team behind you. And I think that's what makes us really cool is like we have each other's backs to the end.
Caroline, with Lily having played the whole offseason on the right wing back, what's it like, and how much can it help you, being potentially as dangerous up the right side as you guys are up the left this year?
I think it's great. It's super exciting. I do think we've gotten to a rhythm with our team, and I think just being threatening both sides, central, high, like having an amazing keeper behind us, just our whole team is such well-rounded, and I think we're really, like Jill was mentioning, like trusting each other a lot more and like trusting that each player that steps on the field is going to do their role and going to do their job and just better our team, and it's really exciting.
And then Jill, what's your perspective been on some of the people competing for opportunities at the forward position in front of you?
I think it's been like really cool to just be someone they could go to ask questions. I think I'm in a really unique position as far as like I'm a midfielder, but I kind of play as like a drop forward sometimes. And so just being able to be like, hey, like if you go, like I'm coming with you, like I trust you. And they're working so hard, all of them. They're really like going on the details, which they start our press. And so they know that's a huge responsibility. But it's really been really fun to like just watch people compete against each other because this team can be really good.
Jill, I think you said depth, maybe all three of you did, you probably have, is one of your strengths, obviously. Is there one that stands out more than that? And then kind of the opposite of that is, what do you guys still need heading into this season? What are you really focusing on fine-tuning and improving to be the team you want to be?
I think something that this team like really needs is just a game that actually matters under our belt. I think the exhibition game was huge just for us. I think a lot of the freshmen were so excited, which is so awesome. so that they're excited instead of nervous. But I think one real game with the KU fans behind us, with under the lights at Rock Chalk Park, I think that's just gonna give this team what they need and give us the motivation, the excitement, the hungriness that we need to take to the NCAA tournament and far.
Sure. Either of you guys, another trait or skill or emergence that you guys can pinpoint that maybe would really help you take that next step?
I feel like a lot just comes with experience, like Jill said. So just getting a game under our belt and getting some good film on our current team too. Everyone's just really excited just get out there and play. There's not much you can do with exhibition 11s that can really recreate what a real game feels like. So yeah.
Is August 12th crazy to have your first game? I mean, you had an exhibition in the single digits. Is that crazy, or are you thankful?
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I like starting early. I'm excited that we play in 2 days instead of on Saturday.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's fun.
And is there something you would pinpoint, Carol, as a strength of this team, the number one thing on that list right now?
As a strength?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say, I think we do have a lot of new people. I think they're buying into what we're doing is very high, and I think so many girls have just been asking questions constantly outside of practice, just wanting to get better. And I think knowing that there's so many girls on this team that want to buy into the process pretty much and want to better the team and just take the minutes that they get or take the time that they get to and do everything that they can with it, I think is great. And we haven't even, like Jill said, played the game yet. So I'm excited to see when we're in the season too, people get experience, people start to understand it more. I'm just excited to see what we can do with it.
Anything else for the ladies? Awesome. Thanks, ladies.
Thanks.
Caroline Castans, Sophie Dawe, and Jillian Gregorski in advance of tonight's match at home against Utah State. Return trip for the Aggies after KU went out to Logan last year, and a solid exhibition performance. Got to see some fun things on Saturday from this KU soccer team. Yes, there are some questions, but they've got a very solid core coming back, Dan.
Yeah, they certainly do. And it's kind of headlined by those three. And obviously Caroline Castans, getting recognized by the Herman Trophy watch list. So that's really exciting. Sophie Dawe has just continued to get better and better and better as a goalkeeper. And, you're bringing back Livy Moore. You're bringing in a couple of really awesome freshmen in Olivia Joyce and Olivia Kaiser who actually scored. But, again, there's going to be a lot of competition in there. And Nate Lee, we saw this kind of last year, doesn't like to really substitute in that much, but I think that he's kind of has an embarrassment of riches, if you will, in that soccer roster. So he's going to have to play a lot of these ladies just to get as much talent out of it as possible. But it's going to be really, really exciting to kind of see how this all comes to fruition. That's going to be tonight at 7 o'clock. If you haven't gotten your tickets, go out to Rock Chalk Park tonight and see the Kansas Jayhawks soccer team in action against Utah State.
Heinen Outdoor Power Equipment.
Let me tell you.
Partners of us at Kansas Nation.
About Heinen Outdoor Power Equipment, because did you know that they are outdoor enthusiasts? They're excited to help you experience the fun and adventure that quality lawn and garden and outdoor power equipment can bring into your life. They're an outdoor power equipment dealership serving the Lawrence area as well as Valley Falls area, by the way, if you're up there in Doug Self's neck of the woods. Shout out to him, offering the best in new and pre-owned Ferris, Hustler, and Country Clipper mowers, Mahindra tractors and implements, Arctic Cat ATVs and UTVs, Steel handhelds, and Billy Goat specialty turf products. They have a friendly and knowledgeable sales, financing, service, and parts department ready to offer outstanding service every step of the way. Check them out, Heinen Outdoor Power Equipment. That's HeinenOPE.com, HeinenOPE.com.
After this, we're going to preview Arizona State, give a little record prediction on ESPN Kansas City, KansasNation.com. Jayhawk fans, show up, pack the field house, and wave the wheat. When it comes to money, Meritrust brings that same energy. That's because financial well-being isn't just something they offer, it's why they exist. Real people, local decisions, a team that actually knows your name. When you're ready to improve your financial game plan, they are ready. Meritrust Credit Union, the official financial well-being partner of Kansas Athletics. Visit meritrust.org to learn more. Federally insured by the NCUA. Meritrust sponsored a conversation with Tyshawn Taylor and Christian Brown that we just put on our socials yesterday. Check that out on YouTube at the Kansas Nation on YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Kansas Nation on Facebook as well. You can see the whole video, also kansasnation.com. CB with Tyshawn Taylor, brought to you by our friends at Meritrust. All right, we're doing a Big 12 outlook, record forecast, whatever you want to call it. Arizona State is KU's first opponent. Of course, that's September 19th at Wembley Stadium in London. They lose Sam Levitt to the portal. He goes to LSU. Yep. That's a big loss for them. And Kenny Dillingham, who was in the Big 12 championship game just a couple years ago, trying to get back there this season.
Yeah, I mean, they're essentially starting from scratch. They lost a number of players from last year, and they actually, like Kansas, have not officially named their starting quarterback. It's going to be between Cutter Boley, transfer from Kentucky, Mikey Keene, transfer from UCF, I believe, Jake Fett, and Cam Dyer as well. A lot of people think Cutter Boley is going to be the guy. Had an okay season last year for Kentucky, but it's going to be interesting. And we haven't really talked about this enough, so I'll roll through really fast. So they play Morgan State week 1, so Saturday, September 4th. That's going to be a win. The week before they travel out to London, they have to go at Texas A&M. I mean, that's going to be a tough game for them.
I mean, they probably lose that game.
Absolutely, they lose that game. So they start off 1-1 right there. Then they have to go out to Wembley Stadium, which is a home game for Kansas, technically. I think that they lose to the Jayhawks. I think they start off 1-2, and their backs are against the ropes. They're playing against Baylor to start it off, and they wind up beating Baylor. So they go 2-2. They go and they beat Hawaii because Baylor is actually going to Arizona State. So they have, so they have 2 home games back-to-back after the Wembley game with Baylor and Hawaii. I think that they get right in those ones, so they're 3-2. They have to go to Lubbock, play at Texas Tech, so that's 3-3. Texas Tech's going to beat them. K-State goes to their place. I think that Kansas State beats Arizona State this year. That is, I have a weird amount of faith in Kansas State just for that game alone. So they wind up going, 4-4, I believe, right? So,
no, that's only 7 games. Why don't you restart and I'll count for you? I think you could. Beat Morgan. I think you could use a friend in this situation.
They beat Morgan State
or me?
Beat Morgan State.
Okay.
They lose 2 in a row at Texas A&M and then
so they're
Kansas.
1-2.
Then they beat Baylor and Hawaii.
They're 3-2.
Then they lose to Texas Tech.
3-3.
Then they
lose to K-State.
3-4. That's 3-4. They lose to BYU in Provo.
3-5.
They beat Colorado. They beat UCF. They beat Oklahoma State.
So they're in a bowl game.
And they're in a bowl game, and I think that they pull off a shocker last game of the year at Arizona. I think they beat Arizona.
Interesting. 7-5 season for Arizona State. That's a fun non-con schedule. You get to go to London to face, I guess Kansas is a conference game, but you get to go to London to face Kansas. Your non-con after Morgan State, you're at Kyle Field, and then you get Hawaii at home. That's kind of fun.
But it's Hawaii at home. It would be cooler if they go out to Hawaii.
Which KU will be doing in the coming years. That's going to do it for Rock Chalk Sports. For Tyler Brewer and Elijah Schmidt and Dan Courtwright, Sean Kellerman saying thanks for joining us. We'll catch you tomorrow, 4 to 6. More KU football coverage and a whole lot more right here on ESPN Kansas City and KansasNation.com.